Morning traders, welcome to the S&P 500 Futures prep video. From Friday's video that I had picked this 2900 level as another level. We've bounced there, we've sold off. So I'll give you some levels and my thoughts on where this market is going. If you like the analysis, please subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, please them in the comments. I'd also like to know if you guys think we're going to all-time highs, or if you think we're going to stall out before we get to the top. So leave that in the comments and I will give you the prep here in 1 second. Let's do it. Good morning traders, welcome to the pre-market for the S&P 500 futures. It is 6:10 already this month, 4:57 in the morning, 5 a.m. and we're looking at the weekly here. When the futures opened last night, Sunday night, they had a big pop up into the 2900 area. If you watched Friday's video, I had said, hey, that was the next level, 29, and then this 2908 level, and popped right up into the level on the open, and we've sold back down overnight, and we basically came down, hit this top shelf of volume right here, and we're bouncing off. And so that's actually pretty normal, right? If you've watched any of my other videos, I talk about, hey, we test the top of the volume node, and then it gets some kind of rejection, and it goes back down, and we're basically testing the top of this node, and now it's getting rejected. It's just basically ping-ponging back and forth, right? And if this is if this is a strong rejection, which it looks like it's going to be, this is going to continue back up, and it's going to go test the next node. You can see you've got a big old gap in here between the 2904 and the 2895 level. So you could get a fast move if we get up over this area. You get a very fast move up into the 2904 level, and then you have 2908 up here. But this is the weekly level. You can see after we get past this 2908, 2910, and 2912 area, all the way up to 2914, it gets pretty thin in here, and so you get likely another run up here to the top at 2931 and 2935. Those are outside of the range of trading today, but just be aware that it's thin in here, and you could get a pretty good little run up. And I've kind of been saying that if you, on the downside, if you get down underneath this 2875 area, it does get pretty thin in here. You've got a couple stops at 2869 and 2865, and then all the way down here, probably across the top of this at 2857 right here. But let's take a look. Again, I had talked about this in previous video. This was an impulse leg. If I scrunch it up, this was an impulse leg. You got two legs down. They were a measured move. I showed that in one of the prior videos. Got a measured move right here. And then basically this could be another impulse leg that's going to take us up to the high and way beyond. The enthusiasm for rate cuts and the ridiculousness of the market, no ends. So just be aware. cheap money, they got to put it somewhere, and they put it in the market. So on the daily, volume was even less on, was a little bit more on Friday than it was on Thursday, but less than it was on Wednesday. 38.44 is the ATR right now, and from the time I started this video, we've fallen a little bit, but that puts our range at 29.23 to 28.48, showing right here that when it came up into this 2900 area, that it came right across these tops right here, right into this low volume node right here, basically sold off, got on this shelf of volume, doing the bounce. So if the bounce is weak, it'll trade through and it'll go down and probably bounce right here across the top, 28.75. If that's weak, then it'll drop down and go down to the next level. And it kind of looks like it's this shelf of volume right here, 28.66. But look how thin this is. When you have these big, massive moves like this, they don't build a lot of positions, and so they tend to go back real fast. And I show that a lot in long bars here. Let me grab that pointer again. Big bar down, big bar back up, and look at big bar up. Happens over on the other side, big bars up, fast bars down. So there doesn't tend to be a lot of positions in there, and so it travels pretty fast. Up here on the daily, I'm not sure if these will be resistance again at this point. Let's pull this guy over. They haven't really built any big positions in here. They definitely have some a little shelf of volume right here that we're sitting on. But 28.92 coming back up. Yeah, between 89 and 92. Well, I'm getting killed with messages this morning anyway. But on the upside, I think your real resistance here starts at 29.04, 29.08, and then you get something on the other side at 29.12, 13, 29.13. So, and that'll pretty much take you up. And then you got this big old gap right here, 29.20, if somehow it makes it up there. Let's take a look at the 240 here. Again, more of the same. Get that shelf of volume. Look at this. This is 4-hour bars or whatever, and this is a bear flag that's being generated right here. So just be aware of that pattern. And then again, your lower volume is the lower node, 28.74, 28.69, 28.65, and then you can see how much volume's missing out of this whole area right here. You got all these big bars going through here, and so there's just no positions. You got to wait till you get up here. 29, 10, 11 on this chart, and 29, 16, 17. So that's a little bit different than when you look at all the volume, right? Because then you have it over here at 29.08. But if you only look at this side, you have, 29.10, 29.16, 29.17 right there, and then this guy up here, 29.23. Yeah, if you look at this side, there's just barely nothing here because all these big bars are passing through it. 60 minutes. Again, this looks like a bear flag, right? Basically, they're buying it, but there isn't enough buyers to push it up and over, and sellers are kind of holding it down, and so you could get another fall right down into the 28.74 level, and then 28.70 right here, 28.65, and then probably across the top of this, right? I'm not sure where I called this, 28.56, 50, 75. But look how thin this is. So if they were to somehow get this down here underneath this could go pretty fast, right? Your real volume's like way down here, 28.35. There's a decent little amount right here. And if you scroll it back, again, the big old gap right here. And this 28.16 is the high volume node up here, and the 29.10 on this side, which matches up nicely with the bottom of this. I could see resistance right across 29.10, and then across the top of this, which, if I'm looking at the candles right, 29.19. Again, 2000 tick chart, excitement, sold fast, quick. They've been building this position all morning. Not, this is a bear flag, and it could fall a little farther. You have this big old gap right here, so it could go through the gap pretty quick. Notice where it traded to. Look back on the chart. See this shelf of volume right here, bouncing off this shelf of volume, which is the top of that node. You had this shelf of volume right here. You can see that the candles bounced off of it right here. You can see that they're trying to buy right now. And then the bottom of this volume node is kind of right here. There's this right here. But if you kind of look at it as a whole piece right here, 28.70 right here. So even the 12,000 ticks getting to the point where I can't fit all the bars on one screen. Moving up to a 1600 tick chart. Again, just kind of thin for here. Same values, 29.10, 29.17 on this side of the chart. I don't think there's much else to say. You can see the void in here. For the symmetry right here, you can see that from Friday we had this, this run up, and it was following the symmetry, and I just copied the lines and added them up, and that's where we popped to right there. And you can see it worked on both sides of that candle right there. And then you got a nice little kind of bounce off the level right through there, and it's coming back all the way to the other side and kind of found support across here, and you got a little flag going. So that's the symmetry levels, the 100% range extensions for the day. Anything else to tell you? What am I feeling? I'm feeling that I have a bullish slant on the market still. The reality is that there was no Fed rate cut. It was just news of one. So no rate cut really did happen. There were never any tariffs on Mexico imposed. So, there's no removal of tariffs. Nothing's really changed since back on Monday. But, all it takes is a little bit of news and everybody piles in. So if reality hits, we'll get a sell and we'll bring this thing back in. If there's more news and job owning, we'll probably go up. My guess is that you've got a pretty decent shelf right here that might be a little bit hard to get through unless people just cash out. So I would kind of put this as the line in the sand right here. If you get under this, think of it as more of a bearish thing, and look at this wide candle and watch it sell. If we stay up above here with this big old gap right here, I think we're going north. So, and I have that bias anyways that we continue up. But anyways, good luck today. Hopefully you'll do well in the market, and if we're heading up, remember that the volume is thin on both sides, so you may want to let price pass through and try and get the bounce off the scalp lines, just as a hint. But they may work just fine. Things look a little bit weaker this morning, with not as much hype as the previous week. So okay, see you at the end of the day for the chart review. Take care.